Hello, lovely viewers, and welcome to Happy Little Roundabouts, episode 1857C, in which, hopefully, we will be finishing this interchange in less than an hour. And I just realized, after I hit stop recording on the last one, that I forgot to put my copyright notice in the corner. There it is again. We don't need it right now. It was at the beginning with the title card anyway. So we basically have 1.5 more ramps to draw, and then some cleanup tasks like dealing with where the local roads cross over, drawing some bridge structures and maybe drawing some guardrails, fixing up frontage roads. By the way, that will be trimmed back to at least there. I mean, obviously the frontage road is not going to just end at the ramp like this. I mean, it could, and that would be awfully interesting, but I don't think they were doing that even in the 70s. Except maybe in urban areas, and that is not what this is. Plus... Actually, I guess that frontage road doesn't have to go much farther. Where did it go initially? Initially, it went all the way to that other road. Well, that's not going to happen. Presumably, the homestead for this property is probably going to be towards the west end of it because that just puts it closer to the town. So we can probably just dead-end that one where it is, but I'm getting ahead of myself. We have another freeway ramp to draw. Okay. How am I going to approach this one? We needed to clear this ramp. It would probably be easier if it just merges here once it's already straight. Instead of trying to taper on a curve. Because as we saw in the last episode, that was a pain in the ass. Yeah, so that's what we'll do. Or, rather than trying to have this left turny ramp merge into the right turny ramp, maybe I'll do it the other way around. So I'll actually draw the left turny ramp first. Okay. Hopefully we can do merging on a straight piece instead of on a curve. I'm probably going to end up doing a taper on transition curves again, but let's just see how this goes. Okay. Parallel out 18 feet, another 12. Lengthen 440. Q. Instead of hitting escape a bazillion times, I really should just hit QQ. That sounds like some kind of anime onomatopoeia. QQQQ. I'm getting off topic. Extend. It's clearly not going to do that. Well, how do we want to handle this, really? Be curving to the left, transitioning to a curve to the right. We'll have something merging in from the right. So that'll be curving right. We're going straight. Man, that's going to be a real pain in the ass if I try to do it that way. I know what I'll do. Cut this off here. We'll just have it come out of the curve there, and we'll do a 35-20 foot radius curve. That's closer than I thought it would be. That's only 42.05 feet center line to center line. That's not even counting a transition curve. That's a reasonable margin, I guess. Still, let's just treat it like that's a bigger margin and pick an arbitrary number as our intended margin and design to that. Nine feet of left side offset to the ETW on either way. We got 18 feet. How much space do we want between the ETWs? Another 12 feet ought to do it. So we'll do a construction line offset at 30 feet. And I could have it follow this around, but I don't think I'll have it do that exactly. So no need to worry about a transition curve against that. So we'll do a tangent to tangent there. Okay, so we've got straight, we've got a real gentle curve, we've got straight. This is working out pretty simple so far. Now, if we're going to have a left turn lane over here, I think I'll just use the center line here as a center line for a left turn lane. Or, no, I want to account for, really I want to account for the fact that it's wider on the left than on the right, so I'll offset it by 1.5 feet. And that will be our effective center line for the left turn lane as you're approaching the point where you have to yield to oncoming traffic. Let's extend that line to there, and let's figure out our curve radius. We'll definitely want to use transition curves. Construction line offset 4 feet. No. There. And there. That's a 330-foot radius curve for 25 miles per hour. If I do 220, that's, what's the square root of 2/3? Square root times 25. It'll be a 20 mile per hour curve, which reasonable for the situation, I guess. So, let's do 220-foot radius on this curve, there to there. We can delete those construction lines. Let's trim these out of the way. Transition curve time. For 40-foot radius. Trim. Trim. Center. Trim this one on endpoints. Okay. Now we can just delete our excesses. one. All right. Let's go ahead and do our ETWs. ETW stands for Edge of Traveled Way, which, at least in these drawings, I'm using as both the yellow stripe on the left of a one-way road or half of a divided road, and the white stripe on the right. I'm using white lane markers for lines between lanes going the same way, and yellow lane markers for lanes going opposite directions but are adjacent. As opposed to lanes going opposite directions and separated by a median, in which case I use the ETW layer. Actually, what I'll do... divide that. And since I made those divisions, I can now do these trim both operations without just clobbering half the thing. That merge is done. Need to extend that. But how far? Well, I guess I should probably have it come off of this after it's cleared the overpass. And again, thinking about how this will work with elevation, because these will be elevated over that, and this will be elevated over that, and therefore above this, so we're going to have a height differential here. Probably best to try to give as much lateral distance as we can for the height clearance, and there's guidelines for this that I'm not too familiar with, actually. But we can just do like retaining walls if we need to. So I guess this will probably be one big overpass here. Alright, so just made those, and that's longer than it needs to be. So we'll divide them at, wait, What? Okay, yeah. Divide at this point. Divide at this point. Delete, delete, and for the moment, we'll just trim those to there. We'll figure that out once we actually draw the bridge. Now we just need to do a right turny ramp here. We can probably get away with a 440 or 660. Yeah, we'll do a 660 foot radius curve. .660 radius curve. That comes out of the curve at a certain distance from here. That's going to end up tapering on that curve. I just know it. Round 660 feet. What does it come up with? Oh. Okay, that's reasonable. 35-mile-per-hour curve. Yeah. But we want to give it room to transition. Yep. All right, transition curves now. Draw a line parallel with distance LP. Good to know. LP, LE, LI. There's perpendicular to our taper. Draw perpendicular to that through the center of the arc. 6 away from that. Wait a minute. Now I'll do it the other way. .660 on this side should give us a good tangent. Oh, but I need another 4 feet for transition. Okay, draw a circle, 2 tangents and a radius. That's CTR. There's no way I'm going to learn those shortcuts. Transition curve radius 1320. Divide. And there, and there. Where's that center? And then this one, divide there, and what? All right, not a full circle, so I have to click it again to go there. Okay. Delete the excesses. Yeah, we're going to have some tapering on a curve, but hopefully it's just that one curve segment. Let's do some ETWs. Before I get around to doing this taper on a curve, I think I'm going to do the deceleration lane over here. What do we say? This is a 35-mile-per-hour curve. Or 51.3 feet per second. Let's do this. 4 times 660 square root 51.38 feet per second. But we need a square of it anyway, so 2640. .88 squared minus 2640 divide by 4. 1276 should be the length of our deceleration lane for this curve. Huh. Don't need that anymore. $12.76 divided by 11 is what? 116? 120 times 11 is 1320. 115 times 11, 1265. We'll do 1265. Okay. Parallel 12 feet. Shortened by 1265. Divide that there. Shortened by 110. Line to connect it. That's done. Oh, wait. Now it's done. Now we just need to take care of our taper over here. Now, what's our distance that we're working with? About 15 feet. While 15 feet tapering down to 0, average, call it 8-foot separation. And this radius was 3520, so we'll just make a radius 3512. Starting from there. $35.12 offset. There we go. That should about do it. Trim it. Divide that, meet two entities, meet two entities, and that is done. Now we get to do things with a bit of a change of pace. Let's clear our centerline layer, clear our property layer. How much of a clear zone do we need for these? Actually, we should probably decide if we need to extend these. This one's probably okay dead-ending here. Heck, let's just do the whole right-of-way expansion. That's 61.5 feet established there. $60 feet established there. Okay, let's do a standard 55-foot separation between the ramp edge of traveled way and the right-of-way boundary. That'll make things easier, particularly where the stuff transitions. Only a sliver of that property is going to be left. Probably get some complaints from that landowner. Oh well, I'm just going to say he got compensated fairly for basically the value of... Well, he's still got this big chunk over here. And if that's unusable, then compensate him for it, but let him keep it anyway. Just working around the perimeter of the interchange. That's not the one I meant to turn off. Existing frontage road will be okay there. No frontage road needed there, there, or there. We will need to make a frontage road along here. And there's already a frontage road there. We'll just make it connect up all nice. Actually, you know what? I can just do 11-foot offset from where the right-of-way boundary would be. But let's see. It's not going to quite taper in to meet the existing frontage road fast enough, so we'll do a tangent line. And we don't need a frontage road. Well, okay, to get to that bit. So the frontage road will extend to there. Yeah. There we go. I don't like that. I don't like that either. $12.48, $68.97. I'm gonna do a transition curve for a frontage road. I must be crazy. Special transition curve just for the frontage road. 1248. Okay, so 1 over 1248 plus 1 over 6897 divide by 2. Take the reciprocal. 2113 divide by 11. 192. 92 times 11. Okay, 2112 would be the radius of our transition curve. Are any of my viewers Rush fans? Honestly, I have no idea what songs are even on 2112, but I hear people say it's a good album. There's a handful of Rush songs that I like, though I wouldn't consider myself a Rush fan. CTR, circle tangent with the radius. How about that? I am learning the hotkey for that. $21.12. Whoa. Something's not right. None of these solutions are where I expect them to be. Okay, let's measure a line from the center of that to the center of that. $56.50. $56.50 plus $12.48 is $68.98, and radius of this is $68.97. That's why no transition curve solutions were coming up. They actually overlap by a foot. Well then, instead of fussing around with all that, delete that line, 1248, I will just replace that curve with one that fits perfectly. From that curve to that curve. Problem solved. Is that the only frontage road we need for this? For at least the immediate interchange area? It is. But we have a frontage road to relocate here. And I suppose we might as well bring it all the way over to... Where'd the center line go for that? Huh. Might as well bring it all the way over to the dead-ended section line road. Oh, I see what I did. I cut that short and I forgot it went all the way through. Let's just re-extend that to where it's supposed to go. And then cut it. Okay, now we just need to round this corner such that it doesn't cross that construction line. 220 feet? No. 330. close. I mean, I could try to use the tangent to three entities thing, but since at least one of these is a straight line, it probably won't work. 352. No. 375. Getting there. 386. No. 396. 36 times 11 is 396. There we go. But we need to do it to match it to that curve. Okay, that frontage road has been, well, the design for its relocation has been done. Any other frontage road work we need to do in these two sections? I don't think so. So let's get back to property lines. 16.5 foot offset from the center line of the frontage road. And now I'm just kind of going about cleaning up. And I probably don't need to record all of the minutia of this. So I think I'm going to hit stop recording and then record again for just the tail end of the video and put them together in post. Alright, time skip coming up. Okay, so I ended up doing quite a lot of continued cleaning up and detailing work after I stopped recording. Probably a few hours worth over several sessions. It's been another week now, and I haven't actually had a chance to get to this every day. But I've made quite a bit more progress, and I guess it's done now, so let's just take a tour. Gonna get that on the screen. Okay, now here's the interchange. I notice I filled in all the extra lane lines. I did bridge structures. I did guardrails. In fact, some of the interesting guardrail areas here. These will be an impact attenuation area. Like probably water-filled barrels. I did that in a few places where I couldn't quite make the guardrails abut outside of the clear zone. I'm kind of assuming these might just be concrete walls, so that's why I did that. I guess it would be cheaper to use regular like W-rail type guardrails and regular impact attenuators, but since I don't really distinguish on my other structures layer, I'm just kind of assuming these are all concrete walls. So, you know, more elaborate impact attenuators are necessary. So yeah, I did bridges here, not only in the main interchange, but also with every other section line road crossing over. Here we've got a service road that goes under the bridge to connect to this leftover sliver of property. Down here we've got freeway bridges over the railroad and over one of these section line roads. Down here we've got a bridge that's on retaining walls instead of having an extended bridged approach, partly because of these intersections here ended up fairly close, and I felt like I didn't want to have the bridge extend into those intersections. But you know what? I basically did exactly that up here. I have a bridge that's got frontage road here right on one end of the bridge, so I had to flare out this end of the bridge a little bit. And there's another bridge up here where I did more or less the same thing, but I didn't have that issue with the frontage roads. So yeah, this ended up looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. I will definitely have to do another video in which I just show how I do transition curves, and probably some other videos on some of the other detail work that I've done and skipped, like the bridges and the guardrails, and maybe even just, cleaning up property lines and stuff, although that's kind of some pretty basic CAD techniques for the most part. So yeah, I guess we're done here. It has been 4 hours of recorded design and question mark hours of unrecorded cleaning up bits. When I was recording the tail of the episode B and the head of episode C, I kind of forgot that I already recorded a whole third, now fourth episode that would end up being called 1857D, is what we've just watched. And hey, I'm just rambling, aren't I? So I guess it's time to wrap this up. It's been a great trip. Thank you, lovely viewers. Please like and subscribe if you don't feel too bothered by me asking for that. Yeah. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. I should really get a musician to play my credit song. Yes, indeedy, yes, indeedy. More credits. There they go. Bye-sies.